Hi, welcome back to our video fly tying series. I'm Steve Worley, Worley Bugger Fly Company. Today I'm going to show you one of my favorite stonefly nymph patterns of all time, the Conehead rubber leg halfback stone. It's a classic pattern that's been around forever. If you look in the old fly tying books, this is one of the stonefly nymphs that'll pop up, but in fly shops across the country, in the fly bin drawers, kind of been forgotten about. Some of the newer patterns that have come out kind of eclipse it, but this thing has caught billions and billions of trout. Been around for a long time, very, very productive. So we are in the month of July here in Ellensburg, 2025, and we've already had 4 stonefly nymph hatches on the river. We've had our squallas, our salmon flies, our goldens, and our yellow sallies, and now we're heading into the month of August, which will produce the largest stonefly hatch of the year on the river, called the short wing stone. And this nymph pattern does a great job of imitating that stonefly nymph, and that hatch will carry on into the flip-flop, into the month of September, where the trout on the Yakima will eat tons and tons and tons of stonefly nymphs. So it's a great searching pattern to use, and just all around fun, and again easy, not hard to tie, but as you find, most fly tiers will tell you, most productive patterns are not very difficult to put together. So stay tuned. I'm going to show you how to tie the Conehead halfback stonefly nymph. All right, let's get started here tying the Conehead halfback. Also comes with a bead on it if you'd prefer to use a 3/16 bead. First things that you need to do is pinch the barb to get the cone to go around the bend of the hook, and then slide your cone on up to the eye, and lay down a thread base. This is gel spun thread, 100 denier. And once you have a thread base down, we'll take our rubber legs and double them up, and lay them up on top of the shank of the hook. And I'll take and tie those in and secure them. Where they're riding just off the bend. Then you can pull this tight, snip that out of there. That'll get a lot of that bulk out of your back of your fly. Then just tighten them down. Then the next thing, we're going to take a piece of wire. We're going to tie that in. That's medium black. And then a piece of tinsel, pearlescent tinsel in large. Just lay that up on the shank and bind that down. Okay, so once you have that tied in, and you grab your peacock curl and since this is a stonefly nymph, you need 2 different sections of peacock curl. You need 10 pieces for the back portion of the body, and then 15 pieces for the front or the thorax. The back portion would be the abdomen. Okay, so you take your 10 pieces, lay it up on your shank, tie that in. And peacock curl, you know, it's just fantastic material. Lots of reflective qualities in it. That's why fish love it. So now, once that's tied in, you're going to make a dubbing loop. So with your GSP, make your dubbing loop, then take your dubbing loop tool. What I like to do is just run that right through the GSP a few times. And what this is going to do, it's going to help reinforce the peacock curl and make it stronger. So just take and spin creating the rope. Since you're using GSP, it's strong. This is 100 denier, so bring that around, tighten that all up. If you have to, you can just use your fingers and tighten the rope a little bit. And you can see it makes a nice tight rope, and then you can just start winding your body forward. One thing about this fly too that I never mentioned is for people that love to fish for summer steelhead, this is a great fly. When I spent a lot of time on the Klickitat, I use this fly a lot, summer steelhead. Absolutely love it if you want to nymph fish, which upper portions of the Klickitat River are ideal for nymph fishing. Lots of big boulders and pocket water. So you'll come to the end there, and then you just tie that off. And that forms your abdomen. And we're going to bring this piece of flash over the top. You want to make sure that it stays in the center. Tie that down. Nice and tight. And then cut that off. That's the only portion of the fly that gets any flash built into it. It's just the abdomen. So next we're going to take our front pair of legs and same. We're going to double them up and just lay them right on top. Make a couple of thread wraps. And then you can just cut that loop. Pull your legs over to the side. then we'll tie those in, bind them. Gonna add good profile, good silhouette, and lots of movement. Why this fly is fishing. Okay, so moving on here, we just take, now you want to grab your 15 pieces of peacock herl and just cut off those ends. Makes a nice clean edge there. And we'll just lay those right up on top. And same thing, we'll bind these in. Tie it down. Okay, so once you have your 15 strands tied in, same process. So we're going to make a dubbing loop. So pull your thread down. I just like to pull it down. You can kind of get a measurement how long your peacock herl is. Form your dubbing loop and then move that forward. And then same, just run your peacock herl through your thread a little bit here. This just really helps reinforce peacock herl, make your fly stronger. Just start wrapping her forward and just make sure that you don't trap those rubber legs in there. It should look bigger. Front of stonefly nymphs are larger portion of their body, so we want to try and keep our proportions correct. Just keep working towards the back of that cone. You get there, tie it off. What's nice about the cone head too is it hides a lot of that thread base in there. Keeps your fly looking good. Okay, so now your next step is you're going to select a brown saddle hackle. And I've exposed the tip there. We'll just lay that in behind the cone. Tie that in. And then We're going to palmer this. Down the body. Just try to keep your proportions correct, your spacing. Try to keep that flash up on the top of the fly. Now we'll take our wire and we'll make a rib, reinforcing that hackle down, binding it to the hook shank. And I just make a few wraps behind the cone. That'll help reinforce it some more. And then you can trap that with thread. When you go to cut this, don't use the tips of your good scissors. Use either another pair of scissors or use the very back. That'll save your scissors. Keep them nice and sharp. So then we can cut the excess hackle away. And then just build up a little thread base there behind the cone. You can half hitch or whip finish, whichever you like. Okay, final steps of the process is half hitch or whip finish, whichever you like, behind the cone. Cut your thread off, and then you can just fine tune your rubber legs to your liking. That is your Conehead rubber leg halfback stonefly nymph. Great fly for trout, summer steelhead, wherever there's big stonefly hatches. So appreciate you watching, and we'll see you next time.